What are you guys freaking talking about? Sam, you can't call it the winter Shredathon. It's not even winter yet. Well, how about this, right? How about freaking this? Take a look around. Now, there may not be a crazy amount of snow on the ground, but it did snow today. So I'd say we're within my means to call this winter. But either way, that doesn't change the fact that tonight is still an arm day. Tries, buys, and everything in between. And I can't fucking get over how early it is right now. This feels like 10 o'clock. Like I'm still on summertime, what's the word here? I'm still on like summertime perception of like sunset. I don't know why, but it's like, this feels nuts that it's this dark. Which is kind of good for me. It makes me go to bed earlier. So I don't stay up too late. Freaking just, playing on TikTok too much. Which I am working on. I got I ordered like a little, basically just a second phone, right? But it's like supposed to be just for music, like a little, like, thing that runs one of the Android things. So at least I can take a step where when I'm working out, I can just have Spotify. Because it's like I can't fucking control myself and not swipe around Instagram. It's freaking addicting, you know? So in the same sense, right? I know it might be crazy, but I can relate that directly to dieting and staying in a calorie deficit. Right now, I don't want to have treats around. Because if they're around, that's temptation. That's you convincing yourself, okay, maybe if I just have a couple handfuls of goldfish, it'll be fine. If I only have a couple handfuls of goldfish, that won't be that many calories, right? And then, I can just, right, wrong. Absolutely freaking wrong. So my cupboard is actually kind of treatless. Or at least reasonably treatless. Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. When I'm bulking up, when I get groceries, like there is a specific walk down the candy aisle. Like it's not like I'm eating tons of it at once, of course, but I'm talking like, a family-sized bag of Skittles or something, the resealable ones. That's when you know you really got a problem. And it's just something where if I'm trying to beef up, and actually start gaining weight, I'll just take some handfuls on, sporadically throughout the fucking day. But, having that kind of stuff around, not good. So that's where I'm not crazy jealous of any of you guys who are still living with your parents, because you don't have control over the food you've got in your house, at least not as much as you would if you got like your own apartment or something. So, if I want to be a bit stricter with the food, or at least, try to be, then all I end up doing is just not stocking up with treats. There's no Ben and Jerry's in the fridge right now. I think there is. No, yeah. There's no cereal in the cupboards. There's no nothing. A lot of ground beef, a lot of eggs, a lot of canned chickens and sardines. Mediterranean style with like peppers and olives. Those ones are pretty good. And just, keeping it simple. So right now I kind of feel like my main challenge is, just waiting. Because actually sticking to a deficit, it's not like the most insanely hard thing for me to do. What's a little bit hard is the fact that I miss being extra carbed up. Not because of like the physical sensation of like, oh, I can eat whatever I want. It's like you're just bigger. When you're pumped up, you're extra big, you're extra everything. It's just cooler being carved up. Right now I am flat as a board when it comes to my like intramuscular glycogen stores. I would love if there was some kind of test you could run to actually get a reading on how carved up you were. And what I mean by that is, if you take somebody, have you ever heard of a marathon runner talking about carb loading or carbo loading, before the night before? I'm not necessarily sure that's still like the, marathon meta or whatever, right? I don't keep up with that style of training, but the basic idea is, okay, you want to have a lot of readily accessible energy for tomorrow, so you eat more carbs than you usually would. And then apart from the percentage that gets converted and stored as body fat, which isn't really that quick acting as an energy source, a good chunk of those carbs are just going to be stored in your fucking cells, right? Usually I think of my muscle cells, right? Your muscle fibers and everything else. But I mean, I guess all of them. I think, yeah, all of them. But then you're extra full, right? I mean, you can literally think about your muscle cells as like a little balloon. And when you're full of carbs and you're eating a lot of food, that balloon swells up a little bit, right? Because not only is it kind of responsible for moving around and fucking, letting you exert work on the world, right, by living as a fucking organism, it also serves as a little bit of a storage cell for fuel, right? Primarily glycogen. But all that is to condense down to say, I miss being an extra 10 pounds of carbs and water bigger. But I can wait. Because that's an exchange for becoming leaner. Still waiting for the caffeine to smack me. But in terms of arms, I think I just have to see what ends up happening when I get in there. Yeah, I'll just have to freaking find out. Because I'm not sure if I want to do... I'll think about it. I was actually gonna go to the Y, but I think a Planet Fitness might actually be a little better. Purely as a change of pace. What an asshole. So these two lanes merge into one, right? So common courtesy would imply everybody gets in the right lane beforehand and not skips the line like that. Not cool. And unfortunately, he's given the Jeep community a bad reputation, right? Frankly, the more I see that, the less likely I'm going to say, wow, I love Jeep drivers. And I know you guys are a very strong culture, so maybe get some more, do some self-policing, right? Get you guys back in line. Not to, I guess I didn't realize I had such strong feelings about Jeeps. But either way, let's go unload everything, get started. I wasn't having much luck with a rope, and partially these ropes kind of suck. Like, they don't have a flat butt to them. It's like kind of, either way, it just sucks in my hands. So 2 long D handles, underhanded at the top, sort of twisting into an overhand at the bottom. Perfect starter. Not even too heavy either. Okay. Whoa. 1 or 2 more, move on to something else, and just kind of go from there. I do not have this full workout planned. I'm kind of, well, we'll just see what happens. Yeah, 1 more. These feel really good. I'm actually gonna go a little bit lighter because I can, the whole point of a set like this, it isn't like a flat bench. I'm not trying to move 1,000,000 pounds. I want enough weight that I can feel it throughout the rep. And then at the bottom, I want to seriously fucking squeeze. You know, it's like you can't just do the action of putting somebody in a chokehold for it to work, right? Once you get them in there, yeah, wrench it. Now, I wouldn't have any experience in that realm, but good little analogy. Let's do one more. We're changing it up with the top-down angle, but let's go nuts. One more. Okay. Ooh. Go to some machine dips. Dip machine taken, but what I'm really concerned about is I just wanted to do a different movement. I didn't, you know, like just in the spirit of changing it up, and also I just end up more pumped. Like instead of just doing all push downs, like I'll do some push downs, some dips, some overhead, whatever. But since I was taken, let's just do some heavier overhead stretch focus extensions. First time doing this with the D handles, but feeler reps seem pretty promising. So let's make this shit happen. Oh. Yeah. 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 Okay. Ooh. A little pinchy on the elbows. I might need to do one more or something else. Give me a second to decide. Okay. Okay. That was good. I will be repeating that, just not today. 2 overhead movements. Now let's go to some dips. I hope. There we go. Now, if these 2 are good, which, spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure they're going to be, as long as I bring it, this could be it. Because that would add up to 1, 2. Yeah, that'd be about 7 sets. Well, either way, let's see. No point guessing if I can find the answer by doing these. We'll go a little slow for dramatic effects. No. No. Yeah. Okay. Too heavy, but that was good. Let's yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. No. Okay. Oh, I think that's it. Yeah. Hey, tries cooked. Let's grab some dumbbells or something. This will be a good change of pace from normal. Because normally, I'm a little one-dimensional with biceps. You know, I think heavy equals better. I'm trying to work on that, but it's still kind of ingrained into me. So usually with biceps, I think, okay, let's start with some heavy dumbbell curls. It's not the only way to do it. So instead, I think let's start with light-ish preachers. And for me, this handle angle does not agree with my forearms. It kind of like tweaks my wrists. So I swing it free D-handle, and this added free motion just feels better. But nothing else to say but go nuts in a squeezing control way. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay. Now let's move on. Not sure what to, but I can say this. It's going to be a curl. That's for sure. All right. So I did follow regular pattern. I'm back to the dumbbell side. Not going to do regular ass dumbbell curls though. Let's change it up. At least from what I regularly do. Right? I want to make sure most of my lifts are at least a little different than the ones that came before. So let's do some sort of behind the body inclined seated curls. I'm sure these have a real name, but I only need the 45s. If I were to do a standing set of, slightly swinging curls, I could probably get the 60s moving. But honestly, even 45 might be a little bit optimistic strength-wise. But very isolated. There's not really any squeezing even possible with a movement like this. So all I got to do now is go nuts. And the straps help. Keeps my forearms out of it. All right, come on. Oh my God, come on. Oh. Oh. One more of those. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh. Okay. That might actually be it. Let me think about it for 1 second. Okay, no. I'll do one more superset set of curls over here. Light, squeezing still, and then that'll be it. Yeah. Almost talked myself out of one more. I have a plan. 50-pound dumbbell curls, strapped in, of course. And these they're not going to be super slow. They're not going to have a tempo. Just hard reps, good squeeze on the top. As many as I can do, kind of as quick as I can do them. Like obviously not too swingy, but kind of faster paced reps. Because that's the burnout portion of this set in my mind. And then, right, I'm going to put down the fucking the jackhammer and switch it out for a hammer and a chisel. Or hammer and chisel, whatever, with the 27.5s, which just happened to be right above them. Seems like a good weight. And then bend over a touch and do squeezing kind of cross body curls. And the only reason those are slightly different is the angle of your arm to your shoulder. And for me, I feel a little more like peak than with a regular curl. But either way, just a different set style, which is kind of the theme of today's lift. You know, I didn't want to do anything too predictable. Shock the muscle, you know. Come on. Oh, that's good. Yeah, man. Okay, that's about right. That didn't have to be complete failure. I was just aiming for complete, pumpedness. But let's find some airspace, hose down, not get kicked out, then go home and eat something. That was a good arm day. Perfect. And I can feel a little bit better about this pose down because it's not shirtless. It's pump coverless, I'll give you that. But the day that you get kicked out of Planet Fitness for wearing a pump cover, fuck, man. By then all hell will have already broke loose. So no point even guesstimating about it.
But let's run through a couple classics and get ready to freaking roll. Oh. Oh shit, yeah. Now we are officially getting somewhere. Not like we weren't before, but this arm day is definitely a step above the last few. Oh. And it's not because I'm bigger, it's just because I'm getting leaner, right? And more of these little separations and striations and all the freaky shit underneath is just gradually being revealed. But that's probably enough. I don't feel like too much of an asshole. There's not even anybody behind me doing cardio. That's where I'll tell you this. If you're interested in posting anything gym related, try not to completely highlight anybody specific in the background. It comes at a cost. But when these lenses have like a really, they call it a low f-stop value, it makes the background super blurry, you know? So just be a little mindful about that kind of thing. But I can sit here forever. Let's get out of here.
That was good. That was a very good arm day. Reasonably dense intensity. Did not take 1 million sets. And, which is now becoming, if not my goal number one, at least a high priority for me, I did not get hurt. That is, I can't emphasize that enough. I'm not joking. Like, I wouldn't be thinking this, you know, a year and a half ago or 3 years ago or so. Probably more like 3 years ago. A year and a half, I'm easing into it. But I'm starting to get the idea, yeah, maybe I probably should not hurt myself. You know, and I know I get a little bit repetitive when I say some shit like that, but I like to think, at least with some of the shit I say, it's not, you know, repetitive for no reason, right? Like the macro tracking, the calorie counting, the cardio doing, you know, failure achieving, basic kind of shit like that, simply can never get old. You know, we all got to hear that 24/7 because it never ends. You know, it's not like a certain achievement you suddenly reach and now you're good. It is like a constant kind of effort, and that's what fucking making gains is, or even just maintaining the gains you have made is. It's just a constant state of fucking effort, man. You know, there is no particular end, but that's not the point, man. You know, like what are you supposed to do? Just I did it. Well, okay, well now I need to find something else to do. Huh. You know, so it's not necessarily about a peak perfection pinnacle of anything else, or peak perfection pinnacle of performance, or, you know, whatever kind of P word you can think of there. It's just, you know, kind of the grind. You know, and I don't mean the grind like you know, forcing yourself to do a 4 a.m. 20-mile run. Like, I'm not talking about that kind of grind. I'm just saying, like, daily effort adding up into gradually accrued gains. You know, so that's all I got to say there. I'll try not to get too ranty like that. I've got not sure if it's a blessing or a curse, but I could just keep going off on that same fucking trail of thought for 30 minutes, saying it in all sorts of different ways. But today's calories were consumed by, what did I have? I know I had like a protein shake, and I know I had a bagel. Nothing on it. I just took it straight out of the bag. I mean, I tracked everything, and I had some beef sticks. I totally had a breakfast, but it's eluding me. Must have been. I know it was egg whites, and then was it egg whites and rice or egg whites with oatmeal on the side? It feels so long ago, but either way, I think I'm at a. Yeah, we're coming up at a red light here. Let me check my macros for the day. I'm trying not to crash in the process. I don't think you get excluded from, you know, texting and driving, even if you are counting your calories. There we go. Puts me at 1,400 calories for the day. So, not, you know, that's not zero. And by not zero, I mean that's not zero left. So 7:45 now. I got room. 1,000 calories before I go to bed, I can make that work. I can make that freaking work for me. And that, I think, is probably one of the bigger secrets dieting wise, isn't necessarily your grit, right? It's more of a skill. Like, as much as I could try, or as whatever kind of incentive you can give me, be it, I don't even freaking know, whatever. I don't think I could ever run a straight up marathon. I don't think, regardless of whatever incentive I might have, I definitely could not run 26 miles straight. And it just wouldn't happen. It's not an effort based thing. Even if at max effort, I don't think I could do it. But if I were to train for it, if I were to gradually work my way up to do it, then eventually I think I could. So it's not necessarily a brunt force thing, because it is in nature, or by the nature of it, a long-term kind of fucking event. So that's where getting a little bit more in tune with your calorie tracker app on your phone, hopefully you do have one, you know, they're all the same shit, don't worry about which one, and you're thinking about it, because I promise, man, that's gonna tip the scales. But I feel like I say that so much, I should try to back off. So let's see what else has been going on. Oh yeah, I didn't even bring this up yet. So kind of wasn't totally sure about him at first, because it was more of a foster type situation. But there's a third cat, right? So there's Rocky, Rio, right? Rocky's the black one. I swear he's like some Norwegian forest cat or something, because he, as soon as I started giving him like legit wet food, like, you know, enough to actually gain weight, because he was like malnourished in the beginning, and he's blown up. Oh, I hate to say this, but he's gained about 4 pounds over the last like 4 months or so, or 5 months. No, just about 4 months. I don't know, however long I've had him. And this is not an attack. Have you gained 4 pounds in the last 4 months? Because if not, well, I don't. Let's just leave it at that, you know. Oof. But let's assume you have. Let's assume you didn't get out bulked by the cat. Nah, and then there's Rio, the white one, and Rascal. He's a little grayish, whitish tuxedo. He's got a bit of a goatee going on, but he's pretty skittish. He's still rather nervous from his previous experiences. But he's the top dog. He's the oldest one in the house. He's 4. The other 2 are about 2-ish, or 1.5, 2-ish. So they're both seriously like tussling around with each other, and he just kind of watches on the sidelines. But he's warming up, so he is not going anywhere. He has finally got a forever home, which, I mean, if you're a kid, it makes sense. Like, oh my god, I would love a kitten. But frankly, it's just easier adopting a full-grown cat, or at least a reasonably full-grown cat, because they know what to do. They're pretty much self-sustaining, right? I mean, you know, you might have to pick up a hairball every now and then, but it's not that bad, right? So that's my stance there. You know, try to back off on the whole breeder situation. There's a million humane societies across the nation, and they've all got little critters waiting for somebody to snuggle up next to them. I feel pretty strongly about that. I'm not just saying that, because we, you know, I'll kind of go check it out sometimes, because it's right on the way back from the gym. I've got there's one kind of around. Yeah, that's nice. That is nice. So, not to go off on a total little go ahead and adopt a cat tangent, but let's see what else is up. Yeah, with the camera shit, I'm not gonna do any more of that wide angle stuff. Let's just stick to the basics here, because with those, it's like you gotta add like this whole extra like autofocus system with a little motor and gears, and it's too much. It's like I don't want to be thinking about that when we're supposed to be kind of, you know, going crazy in the gym. So we'll just stick to the regular 16:9. But what about you, man? You know, if you're in my if you're in my younger demographic, which I'd say is probably about half of you, and by younger I mean like 21, 22-ish and below. I think the split is about half below 22, half above 22. That's at least that's what the analytics kind of show me. But if you're in that younger crew, fuck, man. Winter break. You got winter break coming up. Are you just going to completely take your foot off the gas, hang out for a little while? I mean, I hear that a lot. You know, it's like, oh, I'm going on vacation. You know, I don't work out on vacation. Like, I like to relax on vacation. What are you talking about? Relax from making gains? I'd be more stressed if I couldn't lift on vacation. And that might just be me because I'm a freaking, gym rat at heart by nature. But it's supposed to be seamless, right? Training should be just a standard part of everybody's daily routine. And of course, I don't mean training as in like extreme hardcore bodybuilding, nose bleeding squats. I'm not talking about that. I just mean like in general, like just having a little bit of a weight-based routine should be part of your normal life. And anybody that's seriously locked in, anybody that's seriously on their shit, on the regular, basically no holds barred, they're working out that day. Maybe some holds barred, I don't know. But it doesn't feel like they're locked in to them, because for them, that's normal. Like I was talking about the marathon kind of shit. Some dudes can run a marathon without breaking a sweat. Like that's just their thing. Like, oh, I'm going to run a marathon today. Or I'm going to do, whatever. Now, I don't mean everybody, but some guys, something that's crazy hard for you might be reasonably easy for them. And it wasn't always like that. They worked their way up to it. So the same thing applies with even just being locked in general. Rather than think, okay, I got to up my game. I need to completely uproot my routine and train like a demon. No more sweets, no more candy, no more anything, no more. I think the sweets might just be a me thing. But, no more cheating on my diet. I'm going full carnivore. I'm doing like 30 minutes of cardio. I'm going to progressive overload. I want to, try not to burn yourself out, because you do need to ease into it. Now, that is not to say do not aim high, right? But maybe aim short. And by short, I do not mean height. I'm talking about distance. Sure, it's pretty cool to just sit, especially if you got like some hype music playing, and think about what you're gonna do. Like, oh shit, yeah, once I get to this, I'm gonna be here, and then I'm gonna see this guy, and then I'll be able to do this, and say I can, like, overarching long-term goal kind of ideation. That's legit, and that can be a pretty motivating factor if you've got something firmly visualized in your mind. But you have to be able to translate that by day, or even just hour by hour action. So for every thought that you have about what you're going to be doing later, or where you're going to be later down the line, you got to balance that out with, okay, what can I do right now to put me closer to wherever that goal is? And I think that's probably the best way to look at anything, because if you can't break something down into its smaller steps, then it's sometimes even reasonably simple things can just become daunting and kind of overwhelming. I mean, people make a complete fucking living out of it with the dieting side of things by selling diets, by selling diet books, by selling programs, because there is this mystery about calories and how they work and how do I get lean, and because it's not just something you can immediately flip a switch and switch from eating like a regular dude, not really thinking too much about the calories and everything, to like really getting into it. Like that's not instant. But it can be reasonably quickly achieved if you ease into it, you work your way up, right? I'm talking the first time you go out for a run, you maybe do a mile jog, then you can do a mile and a half, then you can do 2 miles. Then holy shit, you felt really good that day, you did 4 miles, then like things like that. Now, I'm not jogging 4 miles here, but I think you get the sentiment of what I'm trying to say there. But either way, getting back to today, that was a really good lift. Everybody in there tonight was really into what they were doing. And I kind of, I think for whatever reason, I wanted to feed off of that energy instead of just bringing it all myself. Which could just be a weak point on me, like what's wrong with me? I can't get hyped up for no reason. But that's half of why I like changing up the gyms. Different places, different people, different machines, different environments. It's just nice, so if you can swing it, I'd say double up with whatever your normal gym is, with like a Planet Fitness or an Anytime or something, just to have a little bit of extra versatility and diversity in your lifts. But I think that's all I got. I am ready to eat something, get a good night's rest, and Oh shit, yeah, I better get a good night's rest. I got legs tomorrow. So where that lift will be, who's to say? But will my legs, hamstrings, quads be pumped to SHIT? Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and bet yes on that one. So try to think about doing cardio. Not saying do it, just try to think about it, and then I'll see you tomorrow for some legs.